Hey, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at Planet Coaster as a whole. We're going to be dissecting both the PC and the Mac version, as well as taking an extended look at the console version, which is available on both Xbox and PlayStation. In this video, we'll compare 4 different categories to each different version of the game. We will be comparing features, content, performance, and the cost of each and every version, as well as taking a look at some gameplay, and just taking an overall general look at each different version to see what they have to offer and how they differ between the other different versions of the game. Also, for those of you who watched my last Planet Coaster video, I just want to say thank you guys so much. We're nearing 3K viewers and almost 50 likes. That is just absolutely insane, and I cannot be more thankful. So thank you guys so much for the support on that video. And this video will serve as more of a part 2 / redo of that video. So if you guys want to see that other video, go ahead and take a look down below in the description. Links will be available there. But with that being said, here is your ultimate guide to Planet Coaster. So jumping into the PC version, we are greeted with some featured creators here from the Steam Workshop who create some highly popular items within the workshop. You have your Friends tab here, which it's empty. Here we have a loose representation of the world. Has every featured creator in their rough location, I guess, which is cool. The Steam Workshop. Now, of course, this was the original workshop as Planet Coaster first released on PC and was only available on PC back when it first released. So if we click this, we are immediately taken to the Steam Workshop where we can download and use any of these items in our parks. Of course, people can also upload the parks themselves, so that way we can jump into them as well. So for example, since I like Six Flags Discovery Kingdom and that is my home park, let's say I put Six Flags Discovery Kingdom. So here you can see, okay, this is one of the parks that I used in one of my other videos. You can go check that out if you haven't already. Another Six Flags Discovery Kingdom park. Here's Roar, here's Medusa. See, all these different creations people have created and they've uploaded to the Steam Workshop, so that way you can download them and you can use these files in your own parks. Now, one of the big features for a computer versus the console version is the Theme Maker Toolkit. All it is a 3D modeling tool that you can import items of your own creation into the game. So for example, if we were to click this, we are immediately taken to the web browser. So yes, I don't care. Sell my data. I don't care. Once you load up the game and you click the Theme Maker Toolkit, you're immediately signed in, so you don't have to worry about any of that. You can click Create New Item, and then you can enter in all the descriptive items here. You can upload a preview image. You can pack the file from a zip, description, item name, scenery type, the price. You can basically make anything that you want here. Now, of course, when you hit the submit button, it starts the conversion process, the game import process, and then the Steam Workshop process. It's a very seamless process in which anybody can do who has experience in 3D modeling, 3D rendering, item creation for the game, etc. You know, except me, because so once you have that, you can either go into the resume tab, or you can hit the play tab, and here we have the career mode. And once we go into career mode, you have different options here. So if we click on the first one here, it shows Pirate Battle. From the beginners tab, you have also some other challenges here, and the main goal is that you have to get all 9 stars in order to unlock new ones. So you can unlock the Princess Fairy Tale Easy mode. You need to be at least level 2 to unlock this. So right now I am a coaster novice and I am at level 1 because I don't play story mode in Planet Coaster. Oh, that's cute. So Pirate Battle. So you can start it out as a scenario in order to play it in story mode, or you can also open it up as a sandbox mode or any other mode like that. So if you want to just take the park but, you know, have free reigns, you have options. You're not just locked to story mode. So jumping into the game here, we see the same thing that we were greeted beforehand, and we click continue, and here we are in the smaller park. Again, this is for the novice creator. This isn't really for, you know, people who want a real challenge. So here we have a rather unrealistic lift hill, which is, you know, whatever. You know, it's a rather basic layout with some really questionable turns. Man, that thing is hauling through its circuit. Here we have some really crappy coaster designing. However, aside from the roller coaster itself, the scenery is actually really well done. You have the ship right here. You have the makeshift battle they got going here. They got the skull here on the little island. You have people patrolling back and forth. You have some well-designed pathways. The buildings are nice and well done. I mean, if there's one thing this game does not fall short on, it's the scenery. You can build to your heart's content. And the great part is that with all versions of the game, this isn't just the PC version. If you head down to settings and you head to the game tab, you can actually disable and enable some certain cheats in order to make the game a little bit more to your liking, I guess you would say. You can bend the rules, in other words. You broke the rules! But you can expect it from a game like this, because if there's no multiplayer settings, then, you know, cheating is sort of encouraged.
I beg your pardon?
So for the easy mode, you have to attract 800 guests, and right now I'm sitting at 678, and I have to build 2 rides. Right now I only have one, which is this giant wooden roller coaster, so if I built another one, I would then complete that task. So let's just go to the rides area. Let's see, what is very pirate-like? Let's see, I'll get the Rocktopus, because the Rocktopus is, So that right there is career mode. Again, it's nothing spectacular. It's just a challenge mode in a sense where instead of building to what you want, you have to build under what the game wants. It all depends on your preference and however way you like to play a game like this. So going back into the play tab, we also have sandbox mode, which is my personal favorite, and I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure it's the favorite of everybody's.
Connection lost.
I can't English today. And I'm pretty sure everyone else who bought this game, this is their favorite mode as well. So when you open up this tab, before you jump into a park, you have to select what type of scenery you want. You can have anything from a tropical park to an alpine park, desert, in the middle of a city, or if you really want to, you can even set your own custom park. You also have challenge mode, so if career mode wasn't hard enough for you, challenge mode is where you want to go. You can select one of these different areas here. You can name your park whatever. You have easy, you have medium, you have hard, and you have harder. Of course, you have your pros and cons as you go through each different version, and it lets you know that in harder difficulties, you have less cash, you have fewer items to research, guest happiness drops more quickly. In other words, it becomes a nightmare more than a fun experience. So of course, with the Ghostbusters update, this changes the entirety of the game with a sort of ghost theme to coincide with the Ghostbusters movies. Here we have the Who You Gonna Call mission. This is for the more experienced player. It's not really recommended for those who are just starting out, but all it is it's just a standard theme park in a city setting where it has Ghostbusters, and there's ghosts who can actually scare the guests. So I mean, it's a pretty cool feature, and it doesn't have to be just the Ghostbusters version. If you start up a sandbox park, you can actually enable the settings here. Like if I go to options and I go to game and I go all the way down here, it'll show Ghostbusters features. If you were to click that, you can actually scare your park guests with ghosts in a sandbox park. It doesn't have to be under the Ghostbusters name. So I think that's a pretty neat feature. And of course, once you go back, it changes right back to the normal version. Now, if you go to My Parks, these are all your saved parks that you have saved on your hard drive or in the Steam Cloud savings. Now, one area that I would actually recommend is the tutorial videos. If you were to click these, you are immediately dragged to the Planet Coaster YouTube channel, where they go over tutorials of placing rides, coaster construction, park management advanced, scenario editors, and even user controllable go-karts and speed increase. This is more of a cheats video because you can actually control the go-karts in this game, which is pretty neat. And one of the more recent features, again, is the scenario editor. If you're not happy with some of the options that this game gives you for more like challenges or career modes, you can actually create your own. You can create your own theme park, you can create your own challenges, and the best part is that you can just create it and play with it, or you can actually submit it to the Steam Workshop so you can actually challenge each other. So when you're starting a new park, granted there's nothing in the park, so load times are relatively short. However, the more and the more items that you put into your park, the longer the wait times are going to be, and the lower your FPS is going to be throughout the entirety of the game. So in the park, we have the Help tab, the Notifications tab here. We have the Settings tab right here, which you can just easily press the Escape key and it automatically goes to that tab. Park Management, you have your title of the park, you have to open and close it. Here we have the Guest Summary, Staff Summary, and Rides and Attractions Summary. All these different tabs let you know how your park is performing. You have ticket prices, opening times, park ratings, You have your finances tab. So if on the bottom here, even though it says unlimited money, if I wasn't running on unlimited money, this tab would become very useful because now I have to play the finance manager as well as, you know, park CEO, manager, constructor. I wear a lot of hats basically. We have your blueprints tab, which has all the different items that I have subscribed to on the Steam Workshop, and believe me, I have a lot. The toolkit items, this is a separate tab. Let's say I want to add this arcade shooter game. Boom. Arcade shooter game. So here we can see that this is a custom model that somebody has created and then imported into the game and thus shared it on the Steam Workshop for people to enjoy. So here you can add these to your park. You can add them to make the scenery a little bit nicer. You can move them around, duplicate them, delete them, or you can even change the color. Like I want a yellow machine, or I want a red machine, or you know, what have you. So in this game, there's a total of 56 different roller coaster types. You have 4D coaster, you have the Gerstlauer Infinity Trains, you have the B&M Wing Coasters, Gerstlauer Eurofighters, Vekoma SLC, Schwarzkopf Looper, Mach Multi-Launches, a B&M Invert, the B&M Floorless. You have some real options for when it comes to different roller coasters. And the fun part about it is that once you actually take the coaster, you can actually raise it, you can rotate it, you can do whatever you want with it really. And then the creation tab is actually quite easy. All you have to do is just do here for the station. You have utilities, loops, rolls. It's all fairly basic. So here you can see I'm building a basic Intamin Impulse model. You can create that like that. Down here you have the track rides option, you have the custom rides here. We have 26 different options here ranging from small boat rides, skywire gondolas, we have go-karts, we have the interactive shooting ride. Here's the Ghostbusters version, which is part of the pack. You have the People Mover, you got the monorail, you got the bus tours even from Universal Studios. So in the flat rides category, we have a total of 58 different rides. Again, tons of variety to be had there. And the easy part of these different rides is that if, let's say I want the Larson Super Loop, or the Hellion Ring as they like to call it, plop. That's it. You're just plopping it in your park, adding the entrances, connecting exits and all that, and there you go. So just to let you guys know before we advance any further, I am running an Intel Core i7 8700K, clocked in at 3.70 gigahertz. I have 16 gigabytes of RAM, and I'm running a GeForce GTX 1080, which is clocked in, I want to say, at 11 gigabytes. I'll have to do some more research on that later to see exactly what my card specs are. But for the most part, I am running a rather mid-tier system. Naturally, I can get roughly 80 to 90 FPS on most games. I do not have VSync on, and I'm running the gamma as low as possible. And you can see here that I'm running my settings at medium to low-ish quality. So if I'm having performance issues and I'm running the game at everything being either medium or low, you're gonna need a really somewhat beefy computer in order to run this. Last but not least, let's talk about the actual price of this game and the content. So with time progressing, the game has progressively opened up to maybe some more bundle items, and they started throwing items in packages. So the game itself is $44.99, so about $45 on Steam. And that's just the base game by itself. You can buy the complete edition, which has every single DLC ever released for Planet Coaster in one big bulk package, which is a rather nice item because it's, according to here, as a bundle, you get a special discount for all the different items. So instead of paying a la carte and getting everything separate, you can actually just pay one lump sum and get everything that you ever need. Of course, if one of your questions is the DLC worth it or is it even necessary? You are restricted to some of the coasters not being available, as well as some scenery items not being available. So if you want to create something, you are limited, as well as items in the Steam Workshop. A lot of people own DLC, and if they build something using, you know, the DLC, you need the DLC as well. Or it's either you're going to get an error message of the asset not loading, or the asset's going to load without those items, so it's going to look a little wonky, or it's going to look a little off than what you originally anticipated. When it comes to macOS systems, it actually gets a little bit confusing. You see, Frontier Developments actually had to pass the buck off to another company called Aspire. They're a well-known company known for porting popular PC games like Planet Coaster, Call of Duty Black Ops 3, Borderlands 2, Roller Coaster Tycoon 3, Complete Edition. All these popular games, they're known for actually porting them over to make them more Mac-friendly. For some reason, their minimum and recommended stats are actually almost like the same. There's no real differences when it comes to a Mac. 10.14 Mojave or later. Your processor needs to be at least an Intel Core i5 with at least 4 cores, 6 gigs of RAM, and the video card needs to be at least a Radeon R9. Here we are on Apple's official website, and we're just going to take a look and see what kind of Macs they offer. Now, unfortunately, when it comes to the MacBook Air and the MacBook Pro 13-inch, those two MacBooks are unable to play really any video games because they don't have dedicated GPUs. They all use an internal Intel-ish based graphics. They're not the greatest, but they're also not meant to run video games. So if you want something portable, but it can still play somewhat of a video game because it has a dedicated GPU, the 16-inch MacBook Pro is the way to go. Also, all iMacs and iMac Pros, as well as the Mac Pro and the Mac Mini, have some sort of actual dedicated GPU in there, so those will run it, no problem at all. So if we take a look at the 16-inch MacBook Pro, you see that they offer, many options, of course, for what you can customize them with. If you already noticed, these are some pretty hefty, and I mean hefty, fees that you have to pay here. However, if you're in the market to buy an iMac and you think, yeah, I'm going to multitask, I'm going to use it for work, and I'm also going to use it for gaming, let me know how it goes. Seriously, leave a comment down below and let me know how that goes. I'm very, very interested to see how that works out for you. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Planet Coaster Console Edition. Without any further ado, let's get to it, shall we? So here we are back on this glorious home screen. We have your autosave continue feature, you have your parks menu, you have your career mode, sandbox tab, as well as the challenge mode. Due to this being a console port of the original game, the Steam Workshop is not going to work on this console port, so Frontier implemented their own Frontier Workshop in order to combat the fact that the Steam Workshop is non-compatible with this version of the game, as well as the bottom trying to convince you to buy a new DLC. Going into the Parks tab, we have all your autosave, your career save, sandbox mode, challenge mode, and the Frontier Workshop saves that you can load up immediately. Going into career mode, you have this new tab for a tutorial. Now this new tutorial I will play without any interruptions nor narration, so sit back, relax, and enjoy the Coaster Testing Facility tutorial in the Planet Coaster Console Edition on Xbox One X.
Welcome to our roller coaster development facility. Here you can learn about, build and test coasters to your heart's content, all without having to worry about finances and whatnot. I'm not entirely sure how that works. I think Cynthia has found some kind of tax loophole. Right, I'll leave you in Eugene's capable hands. There is literally nothing he doesn't know about coasters.
Stop the cap.
Thank you, Mr. Thompson. You are quite correct. And yet love, however, remains a mystery. Now, when guests ride a coaster, their experience will be determined by how exciting it is, how much fear it causes, and how much nausea they experience during the ride. You can see these ratings in the testing tab. The happy face is excitement. The higher the number, the better. The scared face is fear. The best rides are scary, but not too scary. The sick face is nausea. No one likes being sick, so keep this as low as possible. At a glance, a green face means the rating is very good and your ride will have higher prestige. That's the target we're aiming for. An amber face means the rating is just alright, and the ride will have less prestige. That's the target you'll probably hit a lot of the time. A red face means the rating is very poor and may even cause problems for guests. And that's like missing all the targets and shooting yourself in the foot. So, what determines excitement, fear, and nausea values? Well, they result from the gravitational forces experienced by guests as the coaster changes direction and speed. These are called G-forces. It's finally time to get your hands dirty, metaphorically, obviously, and construct your very own coaster. Now, it's probably a good idea to start out by trying to copy the test coaster. After all, its design is simple, but effective. So, now you've built a coaster track, that means you need to test it and see how it fares. That, my friend, is what we call a chunder train, aka the spew choo-choo. Your nausea rating is off the charts. Check that your train isn't making any sudden changes of direction at high speed, because that's a surefire way to make riders ill. Oh, and make sure to bank into your turns to eliminate those nauseating lateral G-forces.
Sorry, what?
Ah yes, the Oswald Eugene counter. For those of you who are unfamiliar, this is basically a counter that counts every single thing in your park and basically counts it against you. On the Mac and PC versions, there is no such thing as the Oswald Eugene counter. However, due to consoles being limited in their performance capabilities, this had to be implemented in order to stop people from adding items to the park and crashing their game and or console. The idea is that once you reach 100%, you cannot add a single thing to your park. You have to start deleting items in order to make space for the new items. This limits creativity and the amount of items that you can put in a park and really puts a number on the size of your park. In order to truly demonstrate the Oswald Eugene counter, I will be using a park entitled Mexico by Kinderskate 4101 on the Frontier Workshop. Of course, it says that they have 4 DLCs active within this park. I own 0 DLC on the console version, so I can still play the park, it's just I can't change anything and save it. I can change things, I just won't be able to save them as my own personal save game file. Upon loading into the park, we are greeted with a sign saying missing DLC. This park contains DLC that you do not own. This means that you cannot save changes to this park. The following packs are missing from this park: the Spooky Pack, Adventure Pack, Magnificent Rides Collection, and the Classic Rides Collection. Diving into the game further, we can see that the game runs pretty well on an Xbox One X, given it's about roughly 40 to 50 FPS, not exactly 60 because the game is starting to load down from the high density levels of this park. However, the camera seems really smooth, I experienced little to no screen tearing, and overall it was a very playable experience with no real mishaps that can cause a hindrance on gameplay. As you can probably see at the bottom, the park is at 99% on the Oswald Eugene counter, meaning that this park is at capacity and nothing more can be added. Even though the counter said that I am at full 100%, I still was able to add one more ride, and when I tried to add another ride, it promptly gave me the message saying that the Oswald Eugene counter readings are high, suggested that you started removing some objects, meaning that this park is again at capacity, which means I have to start deleting other items to start putting new items in the park. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, that will do it for today's video. Leave me a comment down below what you think about my rankings and what I think about each version of the game. I do believe that the PC version is the best, as it was the first ever device that was able to support Planet Coaster. I think the Mac version is next, given that the Steam version is both for PC and Mac, and the Mac is technically a computer. Last but not least is unfortunately the console edition. I do think there is a lot of room for improvement, and I don't think the console version is technically worth the money just yet. However, if you do want to get into high-level gaming but really don't want to spend a lot of money, I can understand why you would want to go for the console version, because it's just having a nice Planet Coaster experience, taking the PC version and being able to play it on a console that is way more cost effective than any of the Macs or PCs out there on the market. Of course, if you do want to get into some higher level gaming, I would suggest getting a PC, not necessarily a Mac. But if you do have a Mac, then I would recommend that you check your specs before you even buy the game. And most importantly, if you're in the market for a computer and are trying to decide between a Mac and a PC, just get a PC. It will last you so much longer, it will serve you more purpose, and quite frankly, I think it's worth more the money than a Mac is. So yeah, guys, with that being said, don't forget to leave a comment down below. I love hearing from everybody. I try to respond to all comments. If you guys like today's video, don't forget to hit the like button. It helps me out immensely. And if you want to see more of my videos, or if you want to get notified for when I live stream, yes, that is right, I am starting live streaming in 2021. Join me live as I show the creation of some of my newest videos and what goes into them. So if you want to be there live to see how my videos are made, or just want to hang out and have a good time, go ahead and hit the subscribe button so you're notified the second I go live. And with that, thank you for watching to the end of the video. I appreciate you all, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out, everybody.